Good morning and welcome to Join the Dots. Now over the next 2 days I'm going to concentrate solely on gold, although please join the dots, because if I'm talking about gold it applies to silver and it also applies in my world to crypto. Because as I said at the very beginning of my presentations, I see the world's financial system having to be reset. And when they're reset, they can either be precious metal backed or they can be crypto backed. I think both are possible, both are likely, and therefore I want to be in both markets. Now, occasionally, what you see is a tremendous interview that sums up so much that you think, well, let's just talk through this interview. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to link down below an interview I saw of Andy Schectman of Miles Franklin by Liberty and Finance, Kaiser Johnson. And so I'll take you through this interview, because what I do for my clients is when I see an interview like this, I actually make notes annotated against the interview so that people can understand what they're saying. Sometimes you haven't got the experience, you haven't got the insight, you haven't got the knowledge, and that's not being rude, it's just a fact, to understand what they're actually saying and what it means, more importantly. Okay, so let's take you through this interview. Okay, now it's a serious discussion, first of all. There are going to be hundreds of sales discussions on the internet, thousands on the internet and YouTube, thousands of sales discussions, because we're going into a period when gold and silver will be the assets of choice of so many people. And therefore that brings out the predatory salesman. That brings out the unscrupulous salesman. Some of them too young to know what they're doing. Some of them should be in jail. So here we are. We begin this talk. And this mentions, at the very beginning, it mentions the thoughts and the opinions of all the serious names. And these are names like Mike Maloney, Jim Rickards, Alistair McLeod, Vince Lancy. These are all names I've given you before because I've sifted. I've weeded out the rubbish. I've sifted through to the serious names that are going to help you through what will be one incredible period. Okay, it will be incredible. This is no exaggeration. I'm not into exaggerations. Okay, so after 13 minutes, and this is a long introduction, but after 13 minutes we get to the point where Andy describes on August the 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, 5 days, silver, the COMEX received 1.72 million ounces and 1.89 million ounces were withdrawn. These numbers are staggering. They are extraordinary. There's the word, extraordinary. In other words, they're not ordinary, okay? Something huge is happening. And in the first 3 days of August, I mentioned this in a previous video, $7 billion worth of gold stood for delivery. Something huge is happening in both markets, silver and gold. This is where, as you know, I have concentrated my investment for this period, silver and gold. There is now in the stock, and you have to equate the stock market to this because they're running parallel, aren't they? Gold and silver's here, the stock market's here. They move up like this. The stock market has now got over 1 trillion of margin debt. 1 trillion. The public have got over 1 trillion of debt playing margin acquisition of stocks. This is the blow off. This is the last hurrah in a stock market collapse or boom and then collapse. It just happens every time. Now against that 1 trillion of margin debt, what do we have? We have huge insider selling. Those who are smart enough, close enough to the money tree, they're selling. Just to let you know, Jeff Bezos, has sold $6 billion, 6,000 million dollars since June. he knows. He knows the price is too high. He's not stupid. There is also record involvement in the options market by the public. Again, greed multiplied through margins and then through options. This is the sure sign. We're at the end. We're at that final blow-off, that moment when madness consumes everyone. And I'm not being rude. It's just not normal, is it? It's not normal. Okay? And what's the economy doing? Meanwhile, it's collapsing. The PMI in manufacturing's under 50. The PMI in services at 50.1. Just one. It's collapsing. The economy is collapsing. Tourism is collapsing. Vegas attendance is collapsing. People aren't eating McDonald's breakfasts. It's collapsing. Jobs are being lost. They weren't being added. They were being lost all the time. We were lied to. What a surprise. So what we're seeing is we're seeing record public participation in the stock market as insiders are selling. Well, the insiders have to have some people to sell to. And guess who it is? It's the public. They're going to get caught again. So let's have a look here. The public, let me find my notes, has so little relative exposure to gold and silver. And again, we've covered this in previous videos, haven't we? Less than 0.5% of investors' portfolios is represented by gold, silver or gold and silver miners. Less than 0.5%, 1/200th of the market. Can you see the gap? Mind the gap. So, as I say in my note, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with stocks up here and participation in the gold and silver market down here, and insiders selling hugely, and these people going out on margin and options, buying massively? What could possibly go wrong? Nothing. You'll be told that by the media. So, in my world, the public herd are being led to the slaughter. They're being led to the absolute slaughter. Okay, and then you have the predatory cockroaches that come in, don't you? You have the fly-by-night salesman. Buy, buy, buy. Yeah, well, it's buy-buy exactly. It's buy-buy to your money. It's going to go if you follow that lead. All right? 20 to 22 minutes in this interview, so you can watch it and then you can listen to my notes and put them again. So 20 to 22 minutes, the traps for the public are described incredibly well. And 22 to 27 minutes, how those traps are sprung on you. How the public gets caught every time. It's so sad because it's so avoidable if you just think. Critical thinking are two words that I use an awful lot. I haven't used them much in my videos actually, but when I talk to clients, I talk about critical thinking. People have lost the ability to think critically. And no more so was that shown than the pandemic, vaccine, whatever. People didn't think. They just want an instant answer from someone in a white coat. And they don't even do any research. They don't check anything. They just accept what they're told. Now, when you've got predatory cockroaches throughout the industry now, they see a boom coming. Gold, silver, coins, anything at all, they will try and sell you. The simple thing to do is take your phone, which has a calculator, and when they quote a price, you say how much gold or silver is in that article, you times it by the spot price, and then you compare it to the price of whatever they're trying to sell you, whatever coin or whatever they're selling you. You just compare it. You will see you're being sold at 2, 3, 4 times the intrinsic value. And there's nothing out there that has that value. Nothing that they're going to have to sell you anyway. Okay? They're not going to have it. So don't believe the stories, please, because this is going to be so crucial to your next period of economic activity. So after 27 minutes, who will you buy from? And if you listen to 26 minutes, the requirements for a true established, properly run gold and silver bullion dealer or coin dealer in the States, or in Minnesota particularly, which is the hardest state of all to trade in, are extensive. All right? In other states, they're not. But Andy Schectman here gives you a full rundown on what the requirements he has to live up to for Miles Franklin. No other state has those requirements. No other state, no other company in this industry over the next 2-3 years is going to play by those rules. You are the victim if you don't do your research. Please. As I've said to you many times in my presentations, you work 52 weeks a year, 40 hours a week, 2,000 hours a year to earn enough to save something. And then you don't invest any time in managing that saving. You just don't invest any time. You just look for an instant answer. It's not there. You have to do your homework, or you have to listen to sites like mine. Join the dots, because I'm taking out all that noise. I'm taking out those predators. I'm discarding them. I'm getting rid of them. I'm only dealing with the truth. Okay? So this behaviour, this predatory herd that come stampeding into the market as soon as they see the price start to move, they're after your money. Okay? Now, as you know, I have chosen to invest my money in the gold and silver market through two absolutely tip-top leading companies in their field, Agnico Eagle Mines and Pan American Silver. And that way I don't have to worry about all these predators. I don't have to worry about them. I'm not going to be sold something that is 4 times the real price. All right? But you could. And as I conclude on my notes here, okay, these things happen every boom, every cycle. And this one, as I've told you many times, is a nuclear cycle. So the abuse, the corruption, the fraud, the outright stealing will be nuclear. Right? Tomorrow I'm going to concentrate on the link between the stock market and the gold and silver market, okay? Because they're linked, and I'm going to concentrate on that. Now, please, if you're getting anything out of these presentations, and I see the comments, they're very kind. I think people are getting something out of this. Please like, please subscribe. It helps the algos, it helps push these out to more people, okay? And that way we get more people to avoid these predators who are just waiting now to take your money off you. So please like, please subscribe, and please share it with your friends. Do them a favour, okay? This is a boom, like, as I've just said, a nuclear boom. You need to be careful, you need to be prepared, and you need to be informed, and you still need to use this to critically think about what you're doing, and take your phone with you at any meeting. Spot price times intrinsic volume of gold or silver. Why is your price different? Yes, 1 or 2%, but not 500%. There will be cases of that, especially amongst the older viewers who sadly are very susceptible to these predators. Okay, tomorrow, the stock market link. It's very, very important. Thank you very much.